Hi class, it's me again, your teacher, and I'm here to talk to you about some things coming up we'll be spending quite some time on. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. First though, I'd like you all to take out a notebook or a sheet of paper. During this video, I will try to explain things simply without making deep things simple. But if there's a word or an idea you don't understand, please write it down and we'll talk about it at the end. Like you, I was assigned a lot of books to read in school. And like a lot of you, I didn't always love reading. It was usually pretty boring. I could do it and I would do it, but I only really enjoyed it when whatever I was reading seemed useful or relevant or interesting. And honestly, the first book I ever fell in love with was The Stranger. And guess what? It's what we're reading next. Unfortunately, yes, it is another book written by a white dude, about a white dude. Worse yet, he lives in white colonized Algeria. But here's the thing about the main character of The Stranger. He isn't that likable anyway. He doesn't care about much. He lives pretty day to day and he enjoys simple things. He often behaves as if his actions don't have meaningful consequences. Ask yourself, do you sometimes not care about what other people want you to care about? Do you sometimes feel like they judge you because of it? Do you feel like it's your fault if you don't care? Is there anything you can do about it if you don't? Why do other people act like you can choose what you care about? And what business of it is theirs anyway? And that sort of leads us to the main thing we need to all be thinking about. Existentialism. I know it's a stupid big word, and I don't know why people always have to explain things using stupid big words, like the word onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia.
Noun. The formation of a word from a sound associated with what is named. For example, cuckoo, sizzle.
I don't know why we have to use that word. I mean, it would be a lot easier if we just could use compound words, like words that sound like stuff. And I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm reading and I encounter a stupid big word, I feel really frustrated. Like, here I was, I'm following along, and I'm maybe even becoming interested, and then there's this stupid big word, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with it. Just the other day, I was reading about New Zealand, and I came across the word
Tau motherfuckatongi hungaku wow.
Uwau otamate rip kaka peak imang uroni ukupoka fenu wagatanada.
And almost immediately, my brain wanted to explode. I had to look it up, and thankfully, it was just a city. So, pretty easily defined. Unfortunately for us, existentialism is not a city and is not easily defined. But here's what I do when I see a word I don't know. The first thing I do is I look for a part of the word that I might understand. Exist. I get that. In fact, I feel like I might have heard the entire first part before.
The evidence shows that climate change is an existential threat.
Climate change is quite simply an existential threat for most life on the planet, including and especially the life of humankind.
Okay, so I think it has something to do with existence. I looked it up in the dictionary.
Existentialism. a chiefly 20th century philosophical movement
embracing diverse doctrines but centering on analysis of individual existence in an unfathomable universe and the plight of the individual who must assume ultimate responsibility for acts of free will without any certain knowledge of what is right or wrong or good or bad.
And that's not very helpful. Like a lot of words, this one isn't going to be easy to define. In fact, it's an entire field of study within philosophy, but it does have some recurring ideas and themes that may help us understand it. The first is that word existence. In existentialism, it's more important that something is than what that something is. We use words to help us navigate the world and explain things, but what we call something is not what the thing is. For example, when we put a sticker on a pile of meat, that sticker is not the pile of meat, but the sticker identifies what the meat is and what it is worth to the buyer. Words are like that. We stamp them on things, and when we stamp them, we a lot of the times claim what those things are worth. We judge things by the sticker, not the thing itself. Another example, take a prisoner on death row. A lot of people have attached a certain word to him, and they say it's okay to kill this person because of that. Well, to a lot of people who study existentialism, this is a problem, and we'll find out a lot more about that when we read The Stranger. Some other major ideas and themes within existentialism are things like death, fear, feeling alienated, isolated, or alone, absurdity, or things feeling meaningless or ridiculous. Or let's look at it this way. You, like me, cannot avoid the following. I will die one day. It is unavoidable. That scares me somewhere inside quite a bit. And if death is unavoidable and nothing lasts, why does it matter who I talk to or make connections with? In fact, since death is unavoidable, and for all of us, why does anything matter at all? I know, it's kind of a downer, but it's something to think about. However, it isn't all negative. One of the other major themes of existentialism is choice. If nothing matters, if everything ends, then a person has infinite freedom during their life. And within that freedom, they can choose anything. My own high school teacher said it to me after class like this: there is no meaning in life except the meaning we make for it. So that's kind of an introduction to existentialism. A big stupid word you can put in a locker in the back of your brain so one day you can win a game show.
I'll take existentialism for 500, Alex.
The important thing isn't the word, but the ideas. And now I think we kind of understand those. The second book we'll be reading is a lot less sticky. It's called The Metamorphosis. And yes, another big stupid word. Let's look at it. What in there do I recognize? Oh, yeah. Well, now I kind of remember my biology class.
Metamorphosis.
A major change in the form or structure of some animals or insects that happens as the animal or insect becomes an adult.
So, for our purposes, this book could just as easily be titled The Change. You can think of it that way if you want. But at least now you've got another word for your game show.
Tim,
What is the metamorphosis?
you're right.
This book is also about a white dude. But hey, he's only a white dude for the first few pages. He's gonna wake up and find he's changed into a cockroach. Yeah, that's right, a cockroach. And then because he's a cockroach, he's gonna run into trouble with work and family. I mean, it all sounds pretty silly, right? But ask yourself, have you ever changed without wanting to? Haven't other people judged you because you changed? And even if you wanted to, could you change back? Have you ever woken up one morning and just felt different? Felt like something had shifted and you couldn't say what, and that other people were treating you differently that day? Or if you were to change, even if you didn't want to change, would people, your friends and family, judge you differently? And is there anything at all you could do about it? So, these are just some of the questions we might come up with as we get introduced to existentialism. But what are some of your questions? Existentialism is sad, but kind of freeing, really. At first, it might seem kind of pointless, but at the same time, isn't that why we often go on hikes in the first place? It isn't always to go to a certain place. The guy in this cartoon gets to choose whatever path he wants to walk down now. And beyond that, he gets to choose how much he enjoys the walk. Okay, class. Let's get to work.